In a peaceful countryside, there was a small pond nestled among lush green meadows. In that pond lived a frog who had spent his entire life there. He loved his little pond. The water was always clear, the bushes around it provided cool shade, and there were always plenty of insects to eat. Every day, the frog hopped from one rock to another, occasionally looking up at the blue sky above. But the sky didn't seem that big, as the surrounding bushes and tall grass blocked much of the view. The frog believed he knew the world well. What else could be out there? This place is perfect, he thought every day. The young frogs in the pond would often ask, "Is there anything beyond this place?" The old frog chuckled. "Out there? Just stories. Nowhere is better than this pond." One day, while sunbathing on a rock near the edge of the pond, the frog suddenly noticed a large shadow gliding over the water. Startled, he looked up. It was a majestic eagle swooping down. "Hello there," the eagle greeted. "Have you ever ventured beyond this pond?" The frog laughed. "Go beyond? Why would I? I have everything I need right here." The eagle tilted his head, his sharp eyes studying the frog. "You think that because you've never stepped outside, the world is much bigger than you imagine. But you'll never know if you stay here forever." For the first time in his life, the frog felt uncertain. That night, he lay awake, thinking, what if the eagle was right? What if he had only seen a tiny part of the world his whole life? The next morning, feeling both nervous and excited, the frog leaped onto the shore. For the first time ever, he ventured farther than he had ever gone before. He hopped through tall grass, climbed over small mounds, and then, suddenly, he stopped in awe. In front of him stretched a winding river, its water so clear that he could see all the way to the bottom. Beyond that were vast, open fields, towering mountains reaching for the golden sunlight. The air was fresh, filled with sounds he had never heard before. The songs of birds, the gentle murmur of flowing water, and the whisper of the wind dancing through the fields. The frog took a deep breath. Wow, I've spent my whole life in such a small world without ever realizing it. The frog never returned to his tiny pond. From that day on, he spent his life exploring, meeting new creatures, and experiencing life in ways he had never imagined. Life is sometimes like that little pond. We live in familiar circles. Maybe it's a job we've done for 30 years, a small town we've never left, or old habits we cling to for a sense of security. But the world is always changing, always bigger than we think. Maybe you're retired, your kids have grown up, and you feel like you've seen it all. But what if now is the time to try something new? What if there's a whole world out there waiting for you to discover? It could be a trip to a place you've never been. It could be learning a new skill, meeting new people, or simply seeing life from a different perspective. The frog found a whole new world when he stepped out of his little pond. And you can too. It's never too late to explore.